everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Powerful Stuff, your guide for inner and outer connection. And today, we are approaching the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. So, we're going to do a quick and dirty, powerful stuff about how you can harness the energy of your own sun, do a little mid year audit on the things that you want to shine more light on in your life, the things that you want to amplify. Maybe you've already taken a leap and you want to fucking double down on it. And I'll also share a few little anecdotes too around, during the summer solstice, the things that I'm excited to shine a light on and the thing that happened this weekend that restored a little bit of faith in humanity, gave me a second wind, and is such a great reminder of the power of using our voice. So let's dive in, shall we? So, firstly, midsummer, so excited. Longest day of the year. It's crazy because I feel like we work up to this day so long and it's like getting dark at 4 p.m. in the winter, and then it's 5, and then it's 6, and then it's 7, and then it's almost 8, and then all of a sudden it's like June, and we're in LA in June gloom right now. So we have a few sunny days. It's sunny right now, but it's just so funny because then it's like it happens and then it starts like reversing again. And you're like, no, stay a little longer, take the load off. But my husband Spencer and I will actually be in Sweden like 3 days after midsummer. It's crazy. We're going to miss it by 3 days for a friend's wedding. So we'll miss all of the flower crowns and the dancing and the, summer, and we will be there, which we're really grateful for, but we'll just miss all of the literal midsummer celebrations. So we will be celebrating in our hearts here and at another friend's wedding in St. Louis. Whoop, whoop. So anyways, all of that's to say, I want to start off with my little anecdote. I was thinking about what I wanted to shine light on this year. As you all know, or maybe don't, my word for the year has been embracing the highs, lows, and everything in between. I decided Spencer and I were on our 5-month sabbatical, or we were still working, but like 5 months sabbatical from LA, traveling, working remote in Latin America. And it was really my way of like embracing all the unexpected things that can happen with travel. And it's funny because I need to keep reminding myself that that was my word that I said in January. It's a constant remembering of coming back to that and keeping that as the focus, keeping that as the intention, as like life happens around us and we can forget. And I think, also a real big intention of mine was to grow in many ways this year as Spencer and I think about transitioning into parenthood, as I've launched my 10th upgrade cohort, and it's been incredible, but I definitely feel ready to grow it because it's been in the same format for the last 10 cohorts, which has been incredible. The results we've been seeing are insane, and I'm ready to take it to the next level. It's human nature to want to grow, to want to expand. And so I thought I would get a lot of that done on the trip, but as it turns out, the trip was kind of more for focusing on being present there, for healing different parts of my relationship with Spencer, with my relationship with myself. And so I kind of surrendered the kind of business growth, super, ambitious intentions I had for all the things that I wanted to achieve by the time I got back. So I guess I was embracing the flow of that. But now that I'm back and settled in LA for a little bit, minus all of the weddings that we're going to this summer, it's got me thinking about my intentions for the year of like growing my business in a way that I'm proud of, growing powerful stuff, bringing more of these episodes to listeners around the world. And it had me thinking about, when we were gone the week of the election in November, and I was away while everything was unfolding in America. And I felt like I was trying to do my part to keep morale high for those who felt hopeless, for those who felt voiceless, for those who felt, crestfallen with the election results and what's happening in our country. And I promised myself I'd continue to show up for my community and the people who need it in the way that I know how, to bring love, to bring feelings of hope, to help inspire people to own and use their voice. And while I've been doing that with coaching, and hopefully I like to think on powerful stuff, it was a funny thing this last weekend when there were the No Kings protests. And obviously last week in LA, there was a bunch of ICE raids and then protests around that, in addition to the No Kings ones that were planned. And I did a best morning ever, my yoga, meditation, journaling connection on Friday, all around empathy, connecting with others, learning how to empathize with people who come from a different background than us, because we all have a story. We're all going through it. And so that was my little way of playing a part. But then I kind of like wanted to go to the No Kings protest, but just didn't plan ahead on Saturday. And I had another thing that I had committed to. And then I got home from that thing and it was like 2 p.m. and I was starting to see stories of friends who were at the No Kings protests. And I was like, I wasn't here in November, like when this all happened. And I had, kind of felt connected to people through social media around, around these things and standing in solidarity with different people and causes and whatnot. And I noticed that there was still one protest going on in LA because there was 5 million people that showed up, an estimated 5 million people for No Kings protests, protesting the Trump administration and kind of his unprecedented power that that perhaps throws democracy into question. Many of us would say, but so the No Kings was a peaceful protest to kind of protect democracy and to stand up for all the marginalized groups that have been kind of cruelly targeted. And so all of that's to say, I had a loose intention to do it, but didn't really plan ahead for Saturday because I had a lot of other things I was getting through last week. And then I was like, this is no excuse. This is something that's so important to me, like something that I stand for. I'm finally back in the States. And I was so bummed because I saw the Santa Monica one was already over. I was grateful to see all my friends' stories showing up there. And it looked so amazing and uplifting. And I noticed there was one in LA still going on. So yeah, there were 5 million people across the country that turned out, over 2,000 protests nationwide. I think around 2,100. And there were many around LA. There was No Kings in Santa Monica, Culver City, downtown LA, all these different parts of Los Angeles. And I noticed there was one more going on till 3:30 in Playa Vista at the intersection of Lincoln and Jefferson, which is kind of the main road you take when you're going to or from LAX, if you're coming back to West LA. So I asked my husband to go with me because I didn't want to go alone. And I put on my abortionist healthcare t-shirt, and I didn't have time to make a sign, but I just showed up. And as soon as I saw the hundreds of people at the intersection, and they weren't blocking traffic, they were all on the curb, and all of the cars honking in solidarity. It was like an endless stream of honks. I just burst into tears. All of these people coming out to defend democracy, to show up together, to make their voice heard in a day and age where all of the headlines can knock us down. Each day it's something crazier than the last, and it almost kind of numbs you in a way, because you're you kind of get online and see something that's worse than the last. And so, and people can feel hopeless, or they can, some people can be I can't even watch the news anymore because it depresses me. And it's obviously such a privilege to be even able to say that, because a lot of these policies are affecting vulnerable and marginalized groups, amongst many other people. And anyways, not to get into that, but I just started bawling that everyone came together and that every person was my voice matters. And, I'm going to make my voice heard and exercise my right to peacefully protest. And so, yeah, as soon as we got to the intersection, I just started bawling, and we found a great parking spot. We walked there, and at the intersection, everyone was on the curb. But then when the crosswalk turned on, for the little light up guy saying it's safe to walk, everyone would march the four, roads of the crosswalk, and all the cars would honk in solidarity. And it was really beautiful. And everyone was high-fiving each other, handing out water, shouting no, oh my gosh. And then there was 3 little girls shouting no hate, no fear. Immigrants are welcome here, no hate, no fear. Anyways, and I just started bawling, like the empathy of young girls to like come out and stand up for democracy. I saw a bunch of elderly people too, like some with walkers, like, which just like, oh my gosh, like showing up for their country in old age, like it just warmed my heart. And yeah, all the people passing out water, they said had signs of water, no ice. And my husband getting to see it. He's from Canada, so it was his first peaceful protest in the United States he had seen. And the fact that he dropped everything to come with me because he knew how important it was. Yeah, it was like 3 p.m. I saw when I was at home being like, oh, I should have gone. I can't believe I didn't go, kind of beating myself up a little bit. We can all be more gentle with ourselves. But yeah. And then I noticed the Playa Vista one was going on till 3:30. And I'm like, let's get in the car and let's go. And I'm so glad I did, because you could overthink it in that moment. And you could be like, oh, well, I'm not going because it'll be over by the time I get there, or it's at the tail end anyways. But I'm like, no, I'm going. Even if people are trickling out and it's the end, I like want to see it, want to show up. And yeah, it actually like went on for a whole other hour. So I'm so glad I went and just marched and clapped with people as cars were honking. And it like helped restore my faith in humanity a little bit, because yeah, like I said, it can feel so lonely when we stay in our own little bubble and getting our own little news sources and just feel like beaten down by all the news out there. But I felt like it was just such a reminder of the power of people coming together to show our representatives, to show our president, to show our country like we aren't going to back down. We aren't going to accept injustice, inhumane treatment of different populations. We aren't going to accept like somebody who is serving themselves rather than their constituents. And it just reminded me and reconnected me to my own purpose and my own power of not taking our individual voice for granted and doing what we can when we can. And I guess this ties into the summer solstice, because it's like, as we yeah, and I kind of went on a tangent, guys. Gosh, thanks for sticking with me. I never close, or I never leave the loop open, that we always circle back. And so anyways, when I was thinking about midsummer and I was reflecting on what are the things that I really want to let go of, not bring with me into the second half of the year, what are the things I want to double down on? I was like, I really do want to double down on making my voice heard, on showing up, on helping other people show up, stand up, make their voice heard as well. And it really reconnected me to that fire and the importance of like grassroots organizing and community building. And also, I saw some beautiful signs and reminders of like empathy and doing your part in the front line is also, yeah, basically doing your part in the front line is also reading the news, informing yourself, having empathetic conversations with other people of how they're feeling, what's affecting them right now. And yeah, it was just such a powerful reminder. And so all of that's to say for myself, and then I'll break it down for some steps for y'all, is yeah, what I'm letting go of from like this, like the past 6 months is kind of like the would have, could have, should haves of like wishing I had gotten certain things done while I was on the trip, leaning into acceptance of like it was perfectly what it needed to be, especially for my relationship growth with Spencer, and kind of laying the groundwork for our next chapter. And, releasing also in a grateful way, like this current way of doing things. Like I've really been so proud of putting out a podcast episode a week of powerful stuff. I've really been so proud of launching my 10th upgrade cohort and my 3rd upgrade mastermind cohort for upgrade graduates. And it's like I give myself an A+ for consistency, and I'm ready to grow. And it's what I tell my clients, and I want to hold myself accountable to it as well. We can start to feel stagnant energy when we aren't pushing ourselves, when we aren't experiencing imposter syndrome, because we're getting a little comfortable, and it's time to shift and step into the next thing and expand our voice and bring our message to a larger group of people or in a new way. And so I'm kind of releasing that feeling of stagnation, and while also, while celebrating my consistency, while celebrating how far I've come, while celebrating the gratitude of the magic of the 10 cohorts that already were. And then you guys, what I am planting, the seeds I'm planting is I'm ready to fucking expand powerful stuff. I'm ready to expand the upgrade. I'm ready to, see how far this reach can go for the people that need or want to hear it. And I'm ready to like challenge myself. And have a little bit more discipline after, the travel was it was wonderful and we still got work done, but it was a little bit more um, kind of like, yeah, not on a beautiful ritual of a work schedule. So I'm ready to like enter that phase. And then I think 6 months from now, and I actually wrote myself a letter from 6 months from now, is you know, what I want to have achieved in 6 months. And I wrote it as if I was expressing gratitude for all the things that I've already set up in my business, the new shift in powerful stuff, and getting more guests on the show again, getting back into the studio, and, all the new people I've impacted with the upgrade, all the depth in my relationship with Spencer, the incredible things that I've continued to plan and deepen with my community, and the way that I've continued to capture the momentum of standing up and using my voice against injustice. So, and to inspire hope and to lead with love, to help people lead with love instead of fear or hate or judgment. So, all of that to say, that's been my summer solstice journey. And as I think toward Friday, the actual summer solstice, it's like thinking about what you want to really shine from your heart like it's the sun. What do you really want to bring into this world with your own light, with this energy for the next 6 months as you reflect on your goals from January and where you want to be by December 2025? This is the perfect time to reassess those goals and to focus and give thanks to the universe, to yourself, for the things that you want to continue to double down on and say, yes, more of this. Okay, guys. So let's break it down into some steps for you. So, number one, ask yourself, what were my goals from January 2025? Where am I with them, right? Give yourself an honest audit. What things am I really proud of from it? What things like need to be readjusted? And what did I learn? What did I learn from the things of the goals that I hit? And what did I learn from the things where maybe I didn't hit it or the priority shifted? And so just kind of giving yourself an initial audit from that, right? From those goals, and where does it feel true now? What things still feel true and what things no longer feel true? What priorities are shifting that you need to account for or want to account for? And then when you think about the summer solstice, asking yourself, like, what am I fucking proud of? And what glimmers are already appearing that I want to double down on? What do I want to shine more light on in my life? Kind of like the summer solstice being the longest day of the year of the sun. What do you want to supercharge in your life right now that you're already getting those glimmers of? Is it how you're showing up professionally? Is it a new mindset that you've adopted, a new ritual that's making you show up as your best self? What is the thing that you want to double down on and shine light on? And as you write that thing out, also, like, who is the me who is shining that, who's irradiating that? How do people feel around that version of me? How is that version of me dressing? How is that version of me, conversing with friends? What kind of things does that version of me talk about? How do people feel after hanging out with that version of me? And really getting clear on that version of you and how you can step into that. What are the things you need to shift in your day, in how you show up for yourself, that help you amplify that light and really imagine it oozing from you? And then from that place of clarity of that just like light beam self that you are during the summer solstice, looking toward December 2025. What will I be so proud of that I did these next 6 months? And I like kind of sometimes doing these short-term goals, like for 6 months out, because 5-year, 10-year plans are incredible too, and big, big visions. But it's also great to kind of be like, if this happened by the end of this year, I'd feel fucking so proud of myself. So it's almost like a little bite-sized goal that you could even break into further bites, which we will do in just a second. So, anyways, writing a letter to yourself as if it's December 2025, being so grateful for all the things that you've done, how you felt, how you've showed up for yourself, just feeling really proud of yourself. And then you can kind of tease out the goals from there and just tease them on out from that letter. What are the things that I want to do? How does that mean I need to be showing up for myself? Kind of like tying it back to that, light beam self that you just envisioned for the summer solstice. And then you can reverse engineer, okay, if this needs to happen by December, what needs to happen by September, right? Like in the next quarter. And if that needs to happen by September, what needs to happen by July 16th? What's the next month? What should I focus on that month? And then what is my driving highest priority action each week? Because when we can reverse engineer it like that clarity and that prioritization helps bring us into our best kind of like directive efforts to making that goal happen. That clarity breeds confidence. And I was actually, my friend Rian, shout out Rian, who runs Flow State and talks about everything Flow State. I've been reading a lot of his emails and never skip one. Highly recommend subscribing. But what I'm getting from it, and I agree with, is like it's really hard to enter into flow state if you don't have clear goals. But when you do have a really clear goal and really clear priority, that's what makes it easy, because you're like, let me just completely annihilate this one thing. Or a nicer like I love how my husband and like other men will be like, I want to crush these goals, like so hyper masculine. But like, what will help you completely devour that goal, And so all of that's to say, getting really clear on who that December self is for you, reverse engineering that, what needs to happen this quarter, then what needs to happen this month, then what is the battle cry each week that gives me that clarity, so I can really feel like I'm living in the light and exuding the light of this thing that I'm ready to step into. Or maybe you've already taken the leap on it, and these will help you be consistent while also having that kind of compound energy of every week raising the bar a little bit more, pushing yourself a little bit more, growing a little bit more. Okay. So with all of that, guys, we kind of got here, the summer solstice. I'm excited. This is a great check-in time. I know we went through a lot, so rewind, listen, pause as needed, but let's just do a quick little sunbeam meditation. We're going to keep this one relatively short, so you can always just come back to it for a little 2 or 3 minute reset, but just kind of channeling the summer solstice, bringing that light beam within ourselves. So just closing your eyes and just sighing it out, getting it all out. And then go ahead and imagine that your pelvic floor is anchored to the core of the earth, like a lava tube of light flowing up from the core of the earth. Breathing all of that light into your root, and exhale, sending it back into the earth, supercharging your root, your foundation, your sense of safety. Another breath in, breathing that light all the way up to your hips, your sensuality, your creativity, feeling that switch on. And exhale, sending it back into the core of the earth, getting brighter each time. Breathing in, sending it all the way up to your navel, your seat of your soul, your seat of yourself. Feeling you so deeply connected to yourself as you send it back down into the earth, getting brighter. Breathing it up through your root, your hips, your navel, all the way up to your heart, connecting you to your deep love of all sides of yourself, the hard, the sticky, the easy to love. And as you exhale it back into the earth, passing through your navel, your hips, your root, feel it light these energy centers up even more, allowing you to shine and touch with love all of those around you as well. Breathing it all the way up through your root, your hips, your navel, your heart, all the way up, touching your throat, activating what you truly want to say to the world, to yourself, feeling that switch on, like you can feel this light pulsing from your throat. And as you exhale, sending it back through your heart, your navel, your hips, your root, going back to the center of the earth, getting brighter each time. Breathing it up again from your root, your hips, your navel, your heart, your throat, all the way up to your third eye, switching on your intuition, like this bright light is beaming in between your eyebrows. And as you exhale, bringing even more golden light through your throat, your heart, your navel, your hips, your root, out to the core of the earth. breathing it all the way up through your root, your hips, your navel, your heart, your throat, your third eye, up to the crown of your head, switching on, connecting the crown of your head to the heavens, to the other people, to the universal consciousness around you. And as you breathe it in, you feel it shoot up to connect to the heavens in the sky, creating a continuous light beam from heaven to earth. And as you exhale, feel even more light come down through the heavens, through your crown, through your third eye, your throat, your heart, your navel, your hips, your root, out to the crown of the earth. And then one more time, just breathing in from the crown of the earth, or from the center of the earth, all the way up to the heavens, all the way igniting all of these energy centers. And exhale, sending it down from the heavens, flushing all these energy centers till you're just beaming in golden light. And as you're sitting in golden light, just giving yourself a moment to sit in the light that you've already created this year, just getting glimpses of the light you've already created through what you've done, how you've showed up for friends, how you've showed up for yourself, for your goals. And as you have that deep gratitude for those things unfolding, for the lessons learned, for the magical moments, feel that light grow around you in your orbit. And from that place of deep gratitude and centered light, breathing into what you're ready to shine even more light on in this next half of the year. That version of you that knows they're ready to fully expand, be fully seen and expressed. And just getting a glimpse of how they're showing up, what they're doing the second half of the year, how they're spending their time, how they're treating themselves, how they're treating others, how this light is helping lift those around them, how their purpose creates beautiful ripple effects, lifting up other people in these beautiful ways, and how they're switched on to the love, the connection to others around them, contributing to a brighter world. And just asking your deep internal wisdom of all these energy centers. What am I meant to shine my light on right now? Trusting whatever you hear. And then what is the perfect next ping, the perfect next step to do this? And trusting whatever is said. Thanking yourself, thanking the light, thanking the summer solstice, taking a deep breath in. Exhale, sigh it out. Another breath in. And exhale, come back into this space, just sitting in your light. Maybe now is a great time to go back into that journaling, giving gratitude for all the things you've already achieved these last 6 months, both the spiritual, right, and the tactical, all the lessons you've already learned, just doing a nice half-year audit. What are you most proud of? What are you ready to shine your light on in the second half of the year? And how does that shift priorities? How does that shift how you're showing up? And how can you connect your goals to creating a more empathetic, a more love-filled world? Because ultimately our goals are supercharged when we show up for others. Okay, guys, thanks for staying with me. Have a beautiful summer solstice. As always, let me know what episodes you want to hear more of. I'm always an open door for your suggestions, your feedback, and I will see you next week for more powerful stuff. Hey, you. Thank you for coming on this powerful journey with me. I hope it was as powerful for you as it was for me. And if it was, it would mean the world to me if you rate, review, and subscribe to Powerful Stuff so I can keep bringing you the goods. We can keep going on this transformative journey together. And if there's powerful stuff that you want to share with me, with the Powerful Stuff community, tag us on Instagram at That's Powerful Stuff or the Meredith Baker. And I look forward to seeing you next week for more powerful